Hi, good evening. Well, it's evening here. I'm not sure what time it'll be when you watch this. My name is Annie Conboy. I'm a medium, and this is my three little words. Um, yeah, it's Mercury retrograde, really discombobulating you. This certainly is me. We can't wait for Thursday, although there's a shadow, so we'll have about 10 more days of communications being upside down and a bit awry. But anyway, um, this is my opportunity to share with you the inspiration from my guides to give you three little words that might help you make sense of the week, to focus on and to remind yourself about as the week unfolds, really. I love doing this because it always helps me and I put it out there, so I hope it helps you too. So, which three words have they given me? There's the question. Well, today they've given me eternity, wisdom, and journey. So let's see what they have to say about those. Um, Now, as soon as I got the word eternity, oh, wait a minute. We talked about forever last week. What's the difference? Because I mentioned eternity last week when we were talking about forever. But but today they're bringing the emphasis to eternity to help us to maybe understand that we get very impatient. I do. When it seems like things have gone on forever, like Mercury retrograde. That sometimes we get so hooked up in we want it now, we want it this minute, that we forget that sometimes it takes a little bit longer. But that whatever happens, that we've got space because it's an eternity for all sorts of things, all options. We can try every plan or every option. That the game of life is an eternal one, that we're able to try different things, try something new. In fact, eternity as a word always reminds me that we don't have to do the same old forever. What's eternal is the consciousness, the spirit spark that is us. What's not eternal is the body, is this world, is, things change in an instant. Um, Nothing is eternal in that sense, even though we feel like we've waited an eternity. Actually, everything that's material is going to pass. Any situation we're facing at the moment, is it going to be there in 6 months? Probably not. Maybe it might be there in a year or two, but is it going to be there in 10 years? Most likely not. Things don't usually go on and on and on. Something changes. So there's a message in the word eternity about change, about the important bit of us in the core of us, because we mentioned core last week, is eternal. It never changes. That consciousness that comes in and fills this physical vehicle is un well, I can't say unchanging, but undiminished by death. That consciousness is growing and evolving as we experience life. And it truly is eternal. But the rest of it, it's all just background, really. It's all just the plot of the story. It's props. I know we don't feel like they're props. So why do we get stressed thinking it's gone on and on and on when actually we're forgetting that things are changing on a regular basis, sometimes faster than we even imagine. And it made me think about the second word, which is wisdom. Um, I love that I'm now in my crone zone because there's a wisdom that comes with having lived um, a few years that things tend to go round and round and round. Same old, same old. There are patterns there, if you think about it. There are patterns that are built on structures that society puts in place. There are patterns that are built on the structures that we put on ourselves. And actually, it takes an eternity to change those patterns and to get into our actual deep personality. Who am I under all this layering? Um, who's inside? And of course, who's inside is a consciousness, but a consciousness that has invested in a particular personality. And one of the great questions that we're going to be answering for the next 10 years, we've had 2 years of it already, is who am I? Having the wisdom to get to know who we are deeper inside. And that is because we're in the second ray of the divine feminine. We started out working on root chakra for the first 12 years after 2012, and now we're into sacral chakra, which is the next block of 12 years. Well, we've had two, as I said. So the big question that's going to come along time and time again in this next 10 years is who am I? What does it mean to be human? What does it mean to have that consciousness inside me? Is there any wisdom that I can apply that I've already got, that I've already learned? And one of the things that's sitting with us in eighth chakra, in the stellar gateway chakra, is our past life information. Because this consciousness hasn't just been around the block once, maybe 1,000 or 10,000 times. This consciousness has wisdom and expertise and an experience to call on, because wisdom is a building block. Expertise is a building block of wisdom, as is experience. And, I'm always struck by that saying, if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. That's a powerful wisdom to ask us to embrace the other options. What is it that we know? What else do we know that can sort of sort it out? Do we have to do it that way every single time? How many times have we tried to do it differently? How many times have we given ourselves 3 or 4 ways of doing things? Maybe there's a wisdom in trying once and then trying a different way once and trying a different way once. Maybe we'll hit on something that works. So, thinking about that eternity and the eternal being we are, maybe in that eighth chakra sitting up there is stuff that we could use. Maybe it would help us to look at the patterns in our life and recognize, even in this life, we're doing things the same old, same old, and they still don't work. And no matter how many times we do them, I love that saying, try, and try again. It really should be try one way, try another way, try a third way, and keep trying different ways until you get to where you want to get. But instead, we've restricted ourselves to try again and assume that we just keep doing it the same old, same old. So there's a wisdom there for us to embrace. There's an opportunity to look at life not as if, oh, I got that wrong and I didn't do that right, but as the prototypes for the next choice. You can't build a rocket without getting it wrong a few times at least. You can't build anything without getting it wrong a few times. Which way does the widget have to go to get the electric from here to there? You know, we've got to have those prototypes. That's a wisdom. We've got to have experimentation. That's a wisdom. we've got to change it up. If we spot a pattern, we have to go, that's not serving me very well. If it's serving us, if we like it, if it's enhancing life, fine. But the wisdom is if it's making us miserable, get rid. And that's bringing me on to the third word they gave me, journey. Life's a journey. Well, yeah, it is. When you think about it, we go from lying in somebody's arms, having come out with no ability to be self-sustaining, into being the arms that hold the new baby, or being the grandparent that thinks, oh, thank God it's their baby, they can go home and have a sleepless night. I'm not having it. But at the end of the day, it is that growth and evolution that we have if we're plugging into the wisdom, we can see that everyone goes through that journey. Everyone takes twists and turns. Sometimes the journey's so confusing because the sat nav's gone wrong. Sometimes we don't even have a sat nav and we're back to paper maps. I still like my paper maps. Sometimes there's no map, there's no sat nav, there's just somebody saying turn right, left, round, and we go, whoa, whoa, whoa. To get to wisdom is a journey. To understand and embrace the wisdom of that spark within us on an eternal journey where every possible point will happen. It can't all happen in one life. We only have one type of death, but over 1,000 lives, we've tried every kind of death to see if we like it or not. We tried every kind of relationship, every love situation and scenario, everything. We tried it all. And that wisdom's within us. It can make our journey so much easier. If you've got a route map, better still, if you've left yourself a guidebook that says, Annie, at this particular building, turn left and don't even look back. The view's not worth it. If we can embrace that idea that we're moving from one phase to the next, that there's a natural progression, and we might as well go with that progression as try and fight against it or hold it back, that we have the wisdom to bring ourselves to where we are on the journey right now and go, it's okay. If it's not how I want it to be, I've got the time to change it because there is no such thing as time in an eternity. I can reconfigure, I can reshape my life. And I can take what I've learned from all those prototype experiences and go, you know what? I'm not doing that again. I'm going to do this instead. So as your week unfolds, look for the opportunities to do it differently. Look for the wisdom of rejecting a pattern that hasn't worked. Embrace the wisdom that over many, many lifetimes, you can build the best lifetime in this moment. I hope that those words help. I hope the guides have hit the nail on the head again. Never know. But if this message is meant for you, it's meant for you. I hope that you can take something from it, one of those words or all of those words. And I would encourage you, if you can take something from it, perhaps mention it to somebody else. It's on my YouTube, it's on my Facebook Letters from the Light Side page, easily accessible, and hopefully can bolster you through whatever the week is about. As I said at the beginning, I'm Annie Conboy, and I will see you next Monday. Bye.